We are recording, and we will be going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. If you saw the title of the video, Enemies at Our Gates, that's, play at that movie, Enemy at the Gates, but it's also a kind of a double entendre. It's not just enemies at the gates, but the fact that, we're in conflicts abroad that we probably don't need to be involved in. But the reason there's a picture of Putin up there is because it's sad when our enemies understand us better than our own media does. And I don't know, like I said again, it's either our media is willfully ignorant or they're lying. Those are the only two options. But listen to Putin break down exactly what we've been talking about on this channel. But again, mainstream media and a lot of half our country is blind to it. So it's sad when our enemies understand what's going on better than half of our own country does. But just check this video out.
All right, turn it on now.
States, you all know very well what's going on there. They're burning themselves from the inside, their own state, their own political system, thanks to their internal political struggle. And I must say, whether it is pleasant or not, they are also burning down their own leadership in the sphere of democracy right at the root. Because the whole world sees, and it's obvious, that prosecuting Trump, especially in a court of law, on charges that are based on events that took place years ago without direct evidence, is the use of judicial system based on political motivation within the domestic political struggle. For us in Russia, this is obvious. I'm sure it's obvious in the UK as well. Everyone around the world thinks so. And most importantly, the citizens of the United States itself think that way too, because after the famous court ruling where the jury came to a guilty verdict, as we all know, Mr. Trump's ratings went up, I think, by 6%, and the party donations immediately went up for his campaign. But what does that tell you? It tells us that people in the United States don't have faith in the judicial system that makes these decisions, but instead believe that they're politically motivated. What's going on in the States?
Wow. I mean, he analyzed the situation perfectly. Why can't our media? And I guarantee you, everybody who sees that, who's on the opposite side, is going to go, well, that's because him and Trump are best friends. He's been a secret sleeper agent with Putin for years, despite the fact that Steele dossier, all that stuff, that Trump was allegedly a Russian spy since the 80s, was all bunk garbage that was paid for by Hillary Clinton. And of course, anybody who disagrees with me is going to be like, that's nonsense, that's stupid, that's crazy talk, Hillary would never do that. I mean, that is the truth. We have evidence of this. This has been bunk news for a long time. But of course, you tell a lie long enough and you tell a lie enough, people will believe it as truth, especially if they never hear the counter narrative. And that's what's going on right now. It's disgusting. But yeah, no, I mean, what great analysis by Putin. And again, they'll be like, oh, see, right-wing conspiracy theorists agree and side with Putin. It's like, no. I don't like Putin. I don't agree with Putin. Putin is basically an oligarch kept up by the Russian mob. But to pretend that everything he says that comes out of his mouth is a lie or is wrong is silly. It's like the old saying, a broken clock is still right twice a day.
That's literally what I was about to say.
I mean, that's why, people on the left, they don't always get things wrong. They get the majority of things wrong, but they tend to have, like, some of their points are based in some logic or in some semblance of truth, whether or not that they have the whole picture, so. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a shame that our media would, can't get analysis that good, and our enemies can. If you can cut through the BS and go straight to the problem and point straight to the problem, you're going to be able to be a better problem solver than someone who's going to be like, well, like Don, with that video we showed of Don Lemon not too long ago that has like the most views on our shorts now. It's like, he's like, we just had the best economy ever under Joe Biden. And like those podcasters who are just two young dudes who are like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, we just have the evidence to back that up. And they're like,
he doesn't mention any of that evidence whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the Steele Boss dossier, I mean, that has been tied up in the courts for a long time. And in the court system, they took it down and said, hey, this is wrong. Like, none of this is real. We have the paper trails to back this up now. But no, they're like, he's just like, oh, it's just good. It's like, well, inflation's up, all this is up. And he goes, well, I guess if you're super rich and you got a big payout from CNN, sure, I guess things are going good. If you're a multimillionaire. But yeah, nonsense. But yeah, let's push on to the next subject.
All right. The next topic we have is, I'll get rid of that one, is this, it's kind of funny, but they had, I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but the White House invited, specifically Kamala Harris invited the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy cast to the White House. So.
I didn't even know that show was still a thing. I remember that was a thing back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, same here. I had no clue it was a thing either, but they came to the White House, so everyone's just kind of seeing us as what we were talking about before as the laughingstock of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And, so
it's again, the Democrats, whenever Democrats are in office, everything is all about culture. It's all about the cool stuff. It's all about the stuff that they perceive people will like or think is cool. But guess what? I don't think the Queer Eye stuff has been relevant for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it doesn't matter because it's like they're going to get booming articles written about them and all the pro-propaganda media, like, oh, isn't it beautiful that the Biden White House had the trans party? Isn't it great they had the pro-LGBT day? Isn't it cool that they hosted these celebrities? It's like, they're doing stuff that doesn't matter, and they're showing you this over here, and then you're getting the hat trick pulled on you over here where they're using your tax dollars to fund this or do something over there you don't want. The stuff we don't see is what I'm concerned about.
Exactly. But getting back to this, the Babylon Bee posted, the White House dispatches cast of Queer Eye to negotiate ceasefire with Hamas.
Oh, my God. That would be awesome. And then we add our own little follow-up to that. So,
yeah. So the first little follow-up that we have to this is this right here. This is obviously a
gay pro-Palestine supporter clashing with a not gay pro-Palestine supporter.
Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead and run this through real quick.
Play it real quick. Even the pro-Palestinian people who are of different sexual persuasions hate each other's guts.
Yeah. Like, this is just what we were getting at the other day in our last show, or like pretty much like a lot of them lately, especially with it being Pride Month, is you're supporting a group of people that don't support you, that they would have you killed more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's this first one. And then, of course, then there's this second one right here where they literally have their kids stepping on, which is also part of the thumbnail that we have, is stepping on pride flags. So I'll go ahead and play this one real quick.
All right, we're here currently at the protest. We got a bunch of young kids here with their Arab parents, and they are stomping the pride flag here at the protest. The Arab community is sending a message, I believe, to the woke that they are not accepting of this, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Yes.
Who would have thought?
Any message you'd like to send today? To just leave your kids alone.
Leave our kids alone.
What? Daddy, walk up. Yes. Leave the kids alone, she says, ladies and gentlemen. Leave the kids alone. All right. All right, we're here.
I mean, what do you expect? I mean, that is Islam for you, man. Like, they do not like gays in Islam. Christians, we tolerate gays. We don't approve of them or their lifestyle. But we're not going to be the judge, jury, and executioner. We will judge you and say that is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's wrong by the scripture. But guess what? We're not going to execute you for it. Now, gays in this modern media would have you, oh, judgment from Christians is far worse than death. It's like, no, I guarantee. So show the pictures of so these are some pretty graphic images, but I mean, like, this is all real. Like, those images you see are of gay men in places like Palestine in the Middle East. That is what you're supporting when you support Palestine and Hamas.
You will be tossed from buildings.
Yeah, anyway, so they sent the queer eye for the straight guy, and this is what happened after their negotiations.
Yeah. It's pretty graphic. Like, this is what they don't realize. This is what you are supporting if you do this.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what happens when you import a bunch of Islamic refugees and migrants. I mean, this is, again, that town in Michigan, right?
Yes.
That town in Michigan banned the pride flag.
Yep.
That's just step one.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like it's tolerant. It's tolerance to where they're going to kill themselves through tolerance because they're like, look, we elected our first Islamic mayor. And then what does that mayor do? Nope. No rights for, no freedom of speech for LGBTQ people.
Yep. Makes sense. I mean, this is what you're importing. This is what we're importing out our southern border. Everyone's like, no, it's people from Latin America. No, it's not. It's Africans. It's Chinese. It's Middle Easterners. And they're using TikTok. We showed you in the video last week. They're using TikTok to map their route of travel. People are making TikToks showing this is where you go once you get here. This is where you go once you get here. This is where you go once you get here. And then you talk to these groups here, these NGOs over here at the Mexican border, and they will tell you what to do and what to say. They'll give you your vote for Joe Biden card or their pamphlet, and then they'll tell you the exact script of what to say once you meet up with ICE across the border, and then you're in. And then they'll give you your $10,000 gift card. They'll give you your cell phone, and then guess what? You're in America. And it'll take a while for them to find you or get rid of you.
Yep.
You can live off the welfare system and our robust grants and generosities.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, speaking of immigration, you want to move to the next topic or you want to keep on this for a little bit?
No, we might as well push on to the next one.
All right. The next we have here is Elon Musk.
Tweet from the GOAT himself.
Talking about how... let me move this over just slightly. There we go. Another conspiracy theory turns out to be true. Strange that Arizona requires proof of citizenship for the state, but not for the federal elections.
Thank God for Elon Musk bringing attention to this kind of stuff. Like, he has such a big platform with X, or formerly Twitter now. And, you know, there Chad just clicked on the link he shared.
Yep.
And
welfare offices in 49 states are handing out voter registration applications to illegal aliens. No proof of citizenship required. And what we were talking about the other day with all these hundreds of thousands of people registering to vote out of the blue without social securities, birthdays, or date of births or whatever are registering to vote. So this literally proves that they're imported their next voter base.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as a free and fair election anymore. Unless you count non-citizens. I mean, I guarantee the left will. People in the Democratic Party will be like, of course they're citizens. They have every right to be here, every right to vote in our elections, have a say in their future. What about citizens' future? What about the people who are already paying taxes? Those people have never paid a day of taxes in their life. Those people will not be net positive taxpayers. The vast majority of them will never be net positive taxpayers. Yep. They will take from our welfare systems. They will take from everything that we give them, and they will give nothing. And they will not share our values. They will not integrate. They will not be a part of our culture because they have no reason to. Mm-hmm. They broke every rule crossing the border. They broke every rule by being here. And now what's to keep them? Like, they don't share our culture. They don't share our values. Granted, you know, what is American culture anymore now? The left has destroyed what it means to be American culture. They're currently, with this pro-pride, pro-LGBT stuff, they're destroying what it means to be a nuclear family. Mm-hmm. What is American culture now?
Whatever the left says it is.
Yeah. And again, when you import people who don't have the same cultures you like here in America, guess what? We live under Christian values and Christian ethics. Guess what? When you import a base like Islam, they're going to be like, well, we really don't like those gay people. Like, we really, really don't like them. And guess what? If we even think that they might have a chance of coming after our kids, not only are we going to ban the pride flag, you're going to see people throwing off buildings here in the United States soon enough.
Mm-hmm. Could easily be the case. And then getting back to the immigration portion of this, we were importing a new voter base. They're trying to give these people here the right to vote.
Yeah.
The ones that have killed these children right here.
Yeah, these people need rights. These criminals need rights. These criminal aliens need rights. They have rights to have access to your kids. They have rights to talk to them. They have rights to lure them out, brutally SA them. If you don't know what SA is, it is a acronym for sexual assault. But you are sacrificing your children by promoting open borders.
Yep.
You're sacrificing your kid's future. I mean, unless you're like a trust fund kid who's going to be like, well, I'm going to just take over my dad's Fortune 500 company, you'll be fine, sure. But if your kid's trying to get an entry-level job that's unskilled labor, work his way up a company, he's going to be competing with these unskilled migrants, these criminal aliens. And they can get paid under the table. Your kid, they got to pay taxes on your kid.
Yeah. Well, what we were just talking about is they're importing a new voter base, and they're literally letting Americans fall by the wayside. Like, people who live in gated communities and send their kids to private schools, they'll never have to deal with problems like this, are telling you that it's okay to bring in illegal immigration. Like, all these people, and your kids, your kids dying is okay for immigration's sake, for us showing how generous and noble we are bringing in all these immigrants. But if something happens to their kids, they're immediately reversing all their decisions on that.
Absolutely. I said, your children are acceptable losses. Their children are not. Again, and this is why we'll kind of go into a different subject here, but this is why the Democrats trying to lower the voting age is such a terrifying thing, because kids are always going to vote themselves more rights. They're always going to vote themselves more stuff. It's like, well, if I can have more freedom for my parents, like as a 16-year-old kid, I can vote. Of course I'm going to try to get the drinking age lowered. Of course I'm going to get the my age for me to buy drugs and alcohol lowered. Of course I'm going to lower the age for me to talk to strange older men and get access to men like that on the screen there. Like, they'll get access. They'll have people like that. Predators will have more access to your kids because they have more the freedom to do so, because lowering the voting age increases the fact that, guess what? They're now adult enough to vote, so they're adult enough to basically do anything else.
Yeah. We talked about this the other day, is how lowering the voting age, which if it's something that the Democrats are serious about, inadvertently is going to give, whether directly or indirectly, it's indirectly at first, but it's going to directly lead to more predators getting access to your kids at an earlier and earlier age.
Yeah, of course I'm going to say we're going to lower the drinking age. Of course we're going to lower the age to getting entrance into bars to something else. I mean, I'm shocked the 21 to drink is still in effect, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, I don't know how you're old enough to be officially military aged and fighting age, but you're not old enough to be...
Old enough to fight for your country, but not old enough to buy a beer.
Yeah. So, again, if the voting age is lowered to even lower than that, that's going to get turned around really quick. You know, I have mixed feelings about that, because I do know that giving 18-year-olds instant access to alcohol like that's not a good thing, but at the same time, how can you say selective service is okay to put your life on the line, but you're not old enough to drink alcohol? It's a very gray area. And again, this is coming from someone who's been in the military, someone who listened to AIT stories. I mean, go listen to our Grand Old Time podcast with guys who've been in since they were 17. You know, those 18-year-old kids still got access to alcohol. You know, because there are guys in their units with them, or guys at school with them who are older than them, who can be like, sure, I'll buy you a beer, just give me some money. You know, it's always been that way.
Yeah, that's how it is in high school too. I mean, we were in high school. People still got their hands on alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
We may have been to one or two events like that, but I mean, good Lord, it's like it's impossible to guarantee that a kid's never gonna get a hold of something illegal or illicit.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. I don't have the answer. I don't know. Legislating it away is going to solve it with anything else, but at the same time, it's a complicated situation. But again, the younger we allow kids to vote, the more access to predators and bad people the more access to kids they will get. Because then it won't be a crime for them to chat with your 16-year-old kid because, well, I mean, they're old enough to vote. Mm-hmm. So it's a really weird gray area. But I mean, again, that's why you have to be diligent about what your kids consume, who they're talking to. Don't be letting your kids have smartphones until they're old enough to, you know.
Yeah. We had flip phones until we graduated college.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it wasn't the coolest thing, but I mean, I didn't really text people all that much, so it wasn't like a huge deal. I mean, I text a lot more now, but you know, it's just kind of the age we live in. But I learned as an adult the intricacies of the old smartphone. You know?
Yeah, it's not hard to pick up. None of this stuff is hard to pick up.
It's just tedious.
Your kids can be delayed until well after graduating high school, for goodness sake, to get their hands on a smartphone and figure it out.
Yeah, they'll be fine. As long as they can communicate and talk and call you or send you a simple text, you'll be fine. But them having TikTok, them having Instagram, them having Facebook, it's going to warp their brain. And you're already seeing it. Like, I mean, you've seen all those kids that are getting killed doing their TikTok pranks and their YouTube pranks. Like, there are kids getting shot and killed left and right now.
Yeah. All these little trends and stuff going around, these kids are to get the next big view and the next big viral sensation. They're doing more and more.
You can't tell me that's
things.
not brain rot.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. And it's, you know, the old escalation said you constantly have to do better and one-up yourself or one-up the person that you're trying to be.
Yeah, somebody else did a prank robbery video, but it was staged. You didn't realize it was staged, and you do a bank. I mean, again, two kids did a fake bank robbery. They got shot when they were doing their running out of the bank. They didn't have real money in their bags. They were just running out pretending that they robbed the place.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, shot dead.
Not a prank you want to do in the United States where we have open carry or conceal and carry or whatever.
Yeah, stick that to overseas in the UK where they're not allowed to have weapons. But yeah, let's push on to the next subject. We've lingered on.
I mean, it's all your kind of funny stuff right now, so you just have to decide which one you want to talk about.
But yeah, I mean, that's why illegal immigration is the most pressing issue of our time, right there, if y'all understand that. But yeah, we'll push on, try to end on some high notes, have some fun here. So just pick one of them. We just start. Yeah, I guess you could start with this in an alternate universe one.
Okay.
Where's the lobby? Thanks. Excuse me, where's the lobby?
In an alternate universe
Excuse me.
where Joe Biden's in the lobby of the hotel instead of Trump when he meets Kevin from Home Alone.
See, I thought this was gonna be like worse. I thought he was gonna like sniff him or something, or take him in the back.
Yeah.
Golly.
But yeah, no, it's all about Biden crapping himself since D-Day. So I mean, that's where the meme's at right now. But yeah, that one gave me that one made me laugh when I saw it the other day. So let's go ahead and pull up another one real quick.
All right, do you want to do the music video or this one of everybody?
Let's do the music video first, and then we can do the.
All right, here we go.
He's an old guy, has dementia, can't lead us, and the country is screwed. Tells some big lies, barely speaks English, sniffs children, and their mom's hair too goes the wrong way. When he leaves his speeches, gets lost each day. In the White House yard, all the Dems say that we should re-elect him. How can he run when walking is hard? And Joe keeps falling, yeah, he keeps falling, keeps falling, yeah, he keeps falling, and Joe keeps falling, yeah, he keeps falling.
Well, it happens so much, you know. If it was just, just the plain one when he first started his second term, it wouldn't have been a big deal. You could chalk that up to, because I've tripped up the stairs. I'm clumsy. Not picked up my foot far enough before I tried planting it. But yeah, go ahead and pause it. But yeah, I mean, that right there, that compilation shows you just how old and fragile he is. How unable he is. How incapable of doing stuff he is. So, and they really stretch when they talk about Trump. You saw that one where he reached off the stage and grabbed his son Don Jr.'s hand, and they're like going, "This is proof Trump needs help. They need him. He needs to hold somebody's hand to walk on a stage." It's like, no, he literally reached his hand, grabbed it for a second, and then kept walking. Like he was just grabbing his son's hand because his son was congratulating him on the speech.
Yeah. Well,
But they got to reach. They got to misrepresent. They got to lie.
Well, here's the other thing, too, is like the media, if you remember this, the media did the exact same thing. He said, Biden in this video, and that point where he falls down, he was at West Point. He did the exact same thing where Trump stayed on stage the entire time and shook every graduate's hand.
That's
and
awesome.
then he needed help getting off stage because he was standing up. That takes forever. That's like an hour or two long, and God knows how many. I don't know how many graduates they had, but he had to stand there for like 2 or 3 hours standing up at that stage. It's hot, and he had to get assistance to walk down after that. And it was also slippery. He said he was wearing shoes that were not exactly on that metal
Shoes
platform.
without grip. Yeah,
exactly. And they're like and the media hammered him over that. They're like, look, he needs assistance to get off the stage. Look how pathetic and feeble he is.
Yep.
Like Biden literally falls down while he's out there at the same event, and the media is radio silent on it.
Yeah.
And it's saying Republicans are doing cheap fakes over these videos and taking it out of context.
I mean, it's just like what Shane Gillis said. It's like, I love Biden. It's just it's so sad because he turns into a Roomba once he stops talking. Yeah, I mean that's truth right there. So let's go ahead and do this last one real quick, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right. Here's what we got.
Fact that President Trump incited an erection.
His various cases of, he's got charges of inciting an erection.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
They didn't like Donald Trump. They said he participated in an erection.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited.
That's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Yeah, that's why I supported all these. They made me laugh. Cat Turd posted that one, the infamous Cat Turd on X. So, good stuff, though. But yeah, that's about all we've got for you today. Like I said, we got to start taking the border crisis seriously, and the fact that this election that we're having, they expect people who aren't citizens to be voting in it, because they've been prepping people at the southern border with these NGOs for a long time. And, of course, anybody who says anything different is just a right-wing conspiracy theorist. Thanks to Elon again for proving us right. But when we call about when it happened, it's too late now. It's too late. We were called conspiracy theorists for a very long time. I mean, like I said, we had a conversation with somebody in the office here not too long ago going, illegal aliens can't vote. And then, which we made the point, yes, they can. Well, they may not vote, but they also count to the total population, and then we can get electoral seats based off of that. Yep. But now they're actually looks like they're priming them to vote. And we've been talking about this for a long time. The right-wing conspiracy theorists have, and guess what? It wasn't a conspiracy the entire time. We were just made to look like crazy nut jobs. Makes me mad, man. Makes me mad. But that's the media for you. That's the media for you. I mean, I guarantee you they have contacts in these NGOs, and they know what they're freaking doing. And they know what they're doing down there, but they're just going to go, no, that's not happening. You're a bad person. You're a liar. So, anyway, sorry about that. We're wrapping it up, but that's all we've got for you today. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live. This is the Morning Loop. We are signing off. God bless you, everybody.
See you later, everybody.